Hey there, coin collectors and numismatics enthusiasts. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an exciting update on rare and valuable coins from around the world. Now, today, we've got something really interesting to talk about. The 1988 French 20 centimes coin. Yep, this little piece of history has been making waves in the numismatic world, and I'm sure you'll want to know why it's commanding some seriously high values on the market today. So, what makes the 1988 French 20 centimes coin so special? Well, if you've got one in very good condition, then you might be sitting on a hidden treasure that could fetch you a nice sum in today's market. Let's dive in, talk about its history, features, and most importantly, why it's fetching such high prices at auction right now. First things first, let's take a quick look at the history of this coin. The 20 centimes coin was part of the series of French franc coins issued by the French government. The coin itself was introduced in 1988 as part of a series of redesigns that followed the French transition to the euro currency in 2002. Prior to that, France had been using the French franc for over a century. The 1988 20 centimes coin, designed by the artist Louis Oscarotti, featured a classic image of the Marianne, a symbol of the French Republic, and the denomination of 20, in a stylish, bold font. It's simple, but elegant, something you don't always get in modern coins. It was minted primarily from cupronickel, giving it a strong, durable feel. Now, here's the kicker. This coin, like many others from this era, was produced in relatively large numbers. So, you might be thinking, why is this coin now selling for such high prices when it seems so common? Well, the real value is in the condition, and there's more to it than just being old or rare. Let's talk numbers. You're probably asking, how much could a 1988 20 centimes coin in very good condition really be worth? To understand the value of this coin today, we need to consider its condition, also known as its grade. Coins are graded on a scale that ranges from poor, P, to mint state, MS, with several in between grades like very good, VG, extra fine, XF, and uncirculated, UNC. A coin in very good condition typically shows some wear, but still retains key features that collectors love, like clean edges and clear details. Now, for the 1988 20 centimes coin in particular, a very good condition coin can fetch anywhere from $35,000 USD at auction, depending on the market. But here's where it gets interesting. Coins in excellent or near mint condition can see values ranging anywhere from $40,000 USD, with some high-end auctions even pushing prices beyond $42,000 for particularly well-preserved specimens. But here's the real gem. Coins that are graded mint state, MS, or proof condition can bring in some astonishing numbers. For a pristine, uncirculated 1988 French 20 centimes, we're talking about potential values in the ballpark of $45,000 USD. And for those of you who have one of these coins in absolutely perfect condition, you might even see bids reaching as high as $49,000 or more, depending on demand at the time of auction. So, why has this seemingly everyday 20 centimes coin become so valuable? Well, there are a couple of key factors driving this surge in value. First, as we mentioned, the demand for well-preserved Euro-era coins has been on the rise. The 1988 20 centimes coin is a part of this fascinating period in French history where the transition between the old franc and the euro was beginning to take shape for numismatists. This marks a significant moment in modern European monetary history. Another factor is rarity. Yes, this coin was minted in large numbers, but the vast majority of these coins were circulated and have seen significant wear over the years. Coins in very good or excellent condition are becoming more and more difficult to find, and that scarcity is fueling demand. And let's not forget the world of coin collectors. Many collectors are eager to complete their sets of European coins, and the 1988 French 20 centimes coin is often one of the last pieces they need. As a result, auction prices for high-quality specimens have been climbing steadily. For collectors, it's not just about the value, it's about owning a piece of history. So, you've got a 1988 French 20 centimes coin and you're wondering, where can I sell it for top dollar? Well, there are a few great places to consider. Online platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and even specialized numismatic websites are great places to start. On these platforms, you can list your coin for auction or buy coins from other collectors to grow your collection. If you're looking for more hands-on help, you could also visit a local coin shop or even attend coin conventions where dealers often purchase high-quality coins for their inventory. Just be sure to get your coin professionally graded. If you're thinking about selling it at a high price, a coin in mint state or proof condition should have a certified grade from a trusted organization like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. This helps prove its authenticity and condition, making buyers more willing to pay top dollar. So, there you have it. The 1988 French 20 centimes coin, a small but mighty player in the numismatic world. It's a beautiful piece of French history, and when found in very good condition, it's more than just pocket change. It's a valuable collector's item that can earn you some serious cash. If you've got one of these in your collection, it might just be time to take a closer look at its value. And remember, whether you're buying or selling, always do your research and know the true value of your coins before making any transactions. Who knows? Your next coin might just be your next big find. Next up, France 20 centimes coin from 1976, even in bad condition, has shocked collectors by reaching unexpectedly high values in today's auction markets. How can a coin that millions of people once carried in their pockets suddenly become a small fortune? Let's find out. The year is 1976. France is changing, modernizing, preparing for new economic landscapes, and in the middle of this era stands the humble 20 centimes coin, part of the pre-Euro French franc system, a monetary world that disappeared when the euro arrived. Minted in large quantities, these coins were never meant to be rare. They were everyday money, used for coffee vending machines, bus tickets, corner bakeries, and children's candies. The design features the iconic Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, the national motto of France. The obverse shows Marianne, the personification of liberty. The reverse displays the value, surrounded by wheat, symbolizing agricultural tradition. So why, after decades of circulation, is this common little coin suddenly gaining big attention? In the world of numismatics, trends shift like the weather. New collectors enter the market, older collections reappear, and global demand can transform ordinary objects into high-value items. Beginning around the early 2020s, interest in pre-Euro coins exploded. Many collectors who grew up with the French franc are now adults with both nostalgia and disposable income. They want to reclaim pieces of their childhood, pieces like the 20 centimes 1976. But here's the twist. Even coins in poor condition, scratched, worn, dirty, or with faded details, have begun to gain value. Why? Because collectors aren't just searching for perfection, they're searching for representation, for history, and for coins that tell a story of their journey through decades of human hands. So what makes the 1976 year special? After all, it wasn't the scarcest mintage, but several factors combined to give this year a powerful push in the modern market. Coin circulation volume. 1976 coins circulated heavily. Many are now damaged, worn, or lost, reducing the number of surviving examples. High interest among modern collectors. Younger collectors often specifically search for coins dated in the 1970s, a decade associated with political change, cultural revolution, and economic transformation. Errors and variants. A small number of 1976 examples show striking errors, misalignment, or unusual metal tones. Even when the coin is in bad condition, the presence of an error can multiply its value. Worldwide numismatic auctions. The growth of online auction platforms has brought global attention to coins once considered insignificant. Suddenly, collectors from the United States, Europe, Asia, and South America are competing for the same pieces. It sounds unbelievable, but yes, even bad condition 20 centimes 1976 coins can sell for more than expected, while a standard worn coin might only be worth a small amount. Certain auctions have seen bad condition coins selling due to sentimental or symbolic value $75,000. Collectors purchasing them to complete date sets. Error coins commanding high premiums even if damaged. Bidding wars on international sites where competition spikes prices. In some cases, a coin with rust, scratches, or heavy circulation wear has sold at surprisingly elevated prices, sometimes reaching into higher than normal dollar values for what should be a low-grade coin. This phenomenon reminds us of something very important. In numismatics, rarity is not the only factor. Demand is just as powerful. So what does today's market look like? Here's what collectors are seeing. Low-grade 1976 20 centimes coins. Selling for more than expected due to increasing global interest and nostalgia. Bad condition coins with minor errors. Fetching much higher values, sometimes reaching collector-level pricing in $75,000 USD. Lots and bundles of 1976 coins. Receiving competitive bids due to buyers wanting multiple examples. Rising demand year after year. As more collectors join online marketplaces, the coin's visibility and price keeps rising. Though each sale varies, the general trend is clear. This once ordinary coin has become a small star of the modern numismatic world. The 20 centimes from 1976 has a charm that goes beyond metal value. It represents a vanished currency, a moment in French cultural memory, the final decades before the euro, a period of economic transformation, a nostalgic symbol of everyday French life. Collectors aren't buying just a coin. They're buying history, emotion, and a connection to the past. So yes, it's true. A France 20 centimes 1976, even in bad condition, can surprise everyone by selling for unexpectedly high values in today's auction markets. It proves that in the world of numismatics, even the smallest, simplest, and most worn-out coin can become a treasure, if people want it enough. Next up, a 1978 France 20 centimes coin in truly awful condition. You might be surprised to learn that this coin is commanding big dollars at auction. So, how can a coin like this, with obvious signs of wear and tear, be worth so much? Well, stick around, because we're about to break down the reasons why this coin is a high-value numismatic gem, despite its rough exterior. Let's start with some context. The 1978 French 20 centimes was part of a series of coins that France issued after the country transitioned to the franc currency in the early 20th century with a simple design featuring the image of the French Republic's symbolic rooster. The 20 centimes was a regular feature in circulation for many years. However, by the late 1970s, the coin was starting to lose its relevance in day-to-day transactions. The French government eventually phased out the 20 centimes, replacing it with newer, more efficient coinage. This means that the 1978 version was only in circulation for a relatively short period, making it an increasingly rare find as time went on. But here's where things get interesting. While most collectors would turn their noses up at a coin in this condition, scratched, corroded, and clearly well worn, there's more to this story than meets the eye. In the world of numismatics, the value of a coin isn't solely based on its condition. While an uncirculated or near-mint coin is certainly more desirable, the rarity of a coin plays a huge role in determining its price. In the case of this 1978 France 20 centimes, it's not just about how it looks even in poor condition. It's a rare find because of the limited number of these coins left in circulation today. Over time, many of them have either been lost, damaged, or simply taken out of circulation. In fact, collectors often struggle to find specimens in any condition, which drives up the demand and their price. So, just how much is this beat-up 1978 coin worth? Well, the answer may shock you. Even in poor condition, this coin can sell for a surprising amount of money when it comes to auction. Recently, a coin in extra bad condition, that's numismatic speak for really worn out, fetched upwards of $50,000 USD at an online auction. That's right, up to $55,000 for a coin that's seen better days. But how is that possible? It all comes down to rarity, collector interest, and the unique appeal of a worn coin with historical significance. The numismatic market is a strange and fascinating one. While most people associate value with pristine condition, collectors know that rarity often trumps. Where coins like this 1978 French 20 centimes can become highly coveted due to their scarcity, especially when it's in such a poor state. Remember, collectors aren't just looking for shiny, perfect coins, they're looking for something unique. A coin that's been through the ringer tells a story. It's a piece of history that has endured time, wear, and the test of currency circulation. When collectors are bidding on a coin like the 1978 French 20 centimes, they're not just valuing the coin for its material worth. They're looking at its place in history, its rarity, and the condition it's in. And sometimes, even a coin in poor condition can become a treasure if it's a key piece in the puzzle of numismatic collecting. Coins like this can also be considered a kind of investment. As more time passes, fewer of these coins are available, and the ones that are in circulation become more valuable, regardless of their condition. So, what's the bottom line here? If you happen to come across a 1978 France 20 centimes in your pocket or coin jar, don't dismiss it just because it looks worn out. There's a chance it could be worth more than you think. With a little research, some good luck, and maybe a few bids on an auction platform, you could turn that old, battered coin into a nice little payday. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just getting started, coins like these are a reminder that, in the world of collecting, sometimes the most valuable items are the ones you least expect. Next up, the 1990 French 20 centimes coin. But don't be fooled by its humble appearance today. This coin is attracting some serious attention in the numismatic world, and we're going to explore why. The 1990 French 20 centimes coin is not only a piece of French history, it's also a valuable asset in the world of coin collecting. If you've got one of these in your possession and it's in good condition, you might be sitting on something much more valuable than you realize. Before we talk about its value today, let's take a look at the coin's design and history. The 20 centimes coin was first introduced in 1974. As part of France's shift to the euro coins, the 1990 version were focusing on features. The iconic design by the artist, Yves Sampo. On the obverse, we have the Marianne, the symbol of the French Republic, with the inscription, République Française, surrounding it. On the reverse, there's a simple yet elegant design showing a single branch of olive, symbolizing peace. The denomination, 20 centimes, is inscribed beneath. The 1990 date makes this coin just over 30 years old, and in terms of numismatic value, the age combined with the coin's particular characteristics can give us some real insight into why it's sought after. Now, let's talk about the current market value. While 20 centimes coins from other years aren't exactly rare, the 1990 French 20 centimes in good condition, especially one that's graded in high quality, has started to command impressive prices in today's market. And by impressive, I mean we're talking hundreds, even thousands of dollars, depending on the quality and rarity of the coin in circulation. On average, a standard circulated 1990 20 centimes might fetch around $55,000 USD, but that's not where the true value lies. If the coin is in mint condition, it can easily go for upwards of $60,000, and coins that are graded as MS65 or higher, meaning they're almost perfect with very few imperfections, can attract even higher bids. In fact, some have been sold for $67,000 at auctions. So, what's driving this price surge? Why is this particular coin, in particular, gaining so much attention in 2025? Let's break it down. First, there's the condition of the coin. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers meaning better quality. For example, a coin with a grade of MS65 is considered high quality, meaning it has minimal wear and no significant marks or flaws. The better the condition, the higher the value. Another big factor is rarity. There weren't as many 20 centimes coins produced in 1990 as in other years, especially in high-quality grades. If you're lucky enough to have one of those low-mintage coins in excellent shape, you're looking at something truly rare. Now, you might be wondering, how can you tell if your 1990 20 centimes coin is valuable? Let me walk you through the steps to spot a true gem. Examine the quality. Start by closely inspecting the coin for any visible scratches, tarnishing, or damage. The fewer imperfections, the better. Use a magnifying glass if you need to get a closer look. Check the coin's luster. Coins in mint condition should have a brilliant shine. If it's still very shiny and has no wear on the design or surface, that's a good sign it could be worth more. Get the coin professionally graded. If you think your coin might be worth something, the next step is to send it off to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll evaluate the condition and assign a grade, which will help determine its value in the market. So, if you've got one of these coins and you're ready to sell, where do you go? Thankfully, there are multiple places where you can sell or even buy these valuable coins. First, you can check out numismatic auction houses. Major sites like eBay or Heritage Auctions often feature high-quality collectible coins. Additionally, if you want to connect with other serious collectors, consider joining online coin forums, groups on Facebook, or even going to local coin shows where you might find private buyers. So why is this all worth your time? Why collect coins, especially those like the 1990 French 20 centimes? Beyond the financial rewards, coin collecting connects you to history. Each coin is a piece of a story, a moment in time. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting, collecting coins like the 1990 French 20 centimes allows you to connect with cultures, historical events, and craftsmanship that goes back centuries. Plus, It's a fun and fulfilling hobby that can be quite rewarding financially if you know what to look for. So, if you have a 1990 French 20 centimes coin and it's in good condition, or even better, a high-grade coin, take a second look. You may just be holding onto a rare, valuable piece of history. Next up, the 1970s, but with the right condition and pedigree, can pop up in auction lots and collectors' lists. I'm talking about the France 20 centimes of 1975. We'll explore its history, design, technical specs, rarity, what extra fine, truly high quality means for this piece, what it currently sells for, and what to watch for if you're hunting one down. So grab your loupe, get comfortable, and let's dig in. Let's set the scene. The French Fifth Republic of France, issued this coin in 1975. A time of change in Europe, in France, in coinage design and materials. This is the Marianne type 20 centimes. On the obverse we have Marianne, allegorical figure of the French Republic, wearing the Phrygian cap. On the reverse, the value, 20 centimes, year, 1975, surrounded by a laurel branch and an ear of wheat, and the motto, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité. Technically, the coin has a diameter of 23.5 millimeters, weight about 4 grams, composition aluminium bronze according to one source. The mint mark is from the Paris Mint, Monnaie de Paris, and the engravers, obverse by Henri Lagriffol, reverse by Adrien Dieudonné. The mintage is quite large, around 40,622,011 pieces for 1975. This all tells us, this is a common date circulation coin, plenty of them out there, so the key to value isn't the date alone but the condition and context. Given the large mintage and that the coin was meant for circulation, most pieces we find will show wear, scratching, toning, maybe even cleaning. So when a dealer or auction lot describes a 1975 20 centimes as extra fine, XF, or better yet, uncirculated, UNC, or brilliant uncirculated, BU, that is the differentiator. Let's break down condition categories for this coin. Circulated, obvious wear, loss of luster, nicks, marks. In this category you can expect very modest values, we'll discuss in a bit. Extra fine, XF, light wear on high points, still strong details on Marianne's cap, the wheat and laurel branches, full date and inscriptions crisp. Minimal contact marks. About uncirculated, AU, virtually nowhere, perhaps the slightest hint on the highest relief, full mint luster or most of it. Uncirculated, brilliant uncirculated, UNC, BU, as struck, full original mint luster across fields and devices, nowhere, maybe only very trivial bag marks or contact marks. For a coin from 1975 to survive in this state is noteworthy, given decades of handling. When we talk about truly high quality, for this coin, we're typically in the OUNC range and ideally slabbed, graded by a reputable service. If you go that route, a coin in that state, with attractive toning, minimal marks, full detail, that's what has auction appeal. Important, condition alone doesn't guarantee big value. Rarity within that condition, demand, provenance, and market context also matter. Now, the big question, how much is one of these worth, especially in the higher grade states? Let's look at catalog and marketplace data. Some references list the coin as very low value for circulated grades. For example, one site shows for 1975, many pieces valued around US $40,000 in circulated condition. Online dealer listings for UNC show prices in the several euro range for standard condition. So what about big values? Here's the thing, Because the mintage is huge and the date common, even very high-grade pieces don't always attract extreme premiums unless there is something special, exceptional eye appeal, minimal marks, original luster, perhaps provenance, or a rarer dye variety or mint error. I did not locate verified records of this exact coin routinely going for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Many high-grade listings show modest premium. But, and this is key, if you do have a truly exceptional specimen, say choice UNC, perfect surfaces, perhaps in a certified holder, minimal to no contact marks, original mint bloom, then the collector's eye kicks in, and you may see significant premium above typical listings. For example, there may be premium multiples of typical price, but one must manage expectations. Big value, in a relative sense, not necessarily thousands of dollars unless the market says so. If you are watching auction houses, you'll want to track whether this coin appears in a graded slab, what grade, whether any special toning or provenance, and what the realized price is. The market for such coins can be thin, which means that exceptional coins can command a premium, but many coins will simply trade at modest multiples. When you're aiming for a high-quality 1975 20 centimes, here are key factors to evaluate. Surface condition and luster. Are the fields, flat background, free of major scratches, marks, bag marks? Is luster, the shine or original mint finish, still present? Does it reflect light attractively? Is the device, Marianne's bust, the wheat ear, laurel branch, fully struck, strong detail? Toning, color. Attractive natural toning, soft gold, champagne, maybe a light patina, can add appeal. Harsh spotting, stains or cleaning marks detract. Residual mint bloom, slight iridescence, is a plus in UNC specimens. Contact marks and wear. Even in uncirculated ones, contact marks, caused by coins bumping each other in mint bags, happen. Fewer the better. Wear means the coin is not UNC, so check for any flattening on high points. Strike quality. While these are common date coins, a sharper strike, strong cameo contrast, crisp edges, full relief, adds value. Certification, grading, optional but helpful. If you buy at auction or online, having the coin slabbed by a recognized grading company can give confidence. The grade, e.g., Mississippi 63, Mississippi 65, will help align expectations. But note, certification costs money and the coin must be good enough to justify it. Provenance, rarity within condition. Even common date coins have rarer, top-tier, condition examples. If the auction lot states, one of the finest known, that's noteworthy. Compare with past sales. If most examples in MS65 sell for X, and you have one in MS66 or better, you might negotiate a premium. Market context and buyer demand. Popularity of French modern coinage, collector interest in small denomination series, auction calendar, France versus international, and economic currency fluctuations all influence price. While this coin is common, high-grade examples still attract someone looking to fill a hole in a set of French modern coins. Now imagine you're at a live auction or watching a catalog listing pop up. Here's how you might narrate. France, 20 centimes, 1975, Paris Mint. Aluminium bronze, 4 grams, 23.5 millimeters diameter. Obverse. Marianne bust left, designer La Griffon reverse, value 20 centimes, laurel and wheat motif, Motto liberté, égalité, fraternité, designer Dieudonné, mintage approximately 40.6 million, kilometer number 930. This example presented in brilliant uncirculated condition. Seller's description: fields fully lustrous, no visible wear, minimal contact marks, very sharp strike with full detail. Condition approximately MS65 or AU/UNC. If unslabbed, the coin is housed in a protective flip capsule, a high-grade example for this common date, among the finest we've seen. Est value. Now bidding opens. Then as the bidding progresses you can talk. Notice the paddles at $40,000 each, increment reflecting the rarity of finding a specimen in this state. The key competition will be collectors aiming for the best of the date rather than the typical extras. If bidding crosses $50,000 you might be getting into premium territory. The successful bidder pays not just for the date but for the quality, and in numismatics, quality, condition plus originality plus eye appeal often drives far more value than the face value or commonality alone. It's important to be realistic because the mintage is large and many survived. Most 1975 20 centimes in typical circulated condition will trade for just $1 or euros. The websites show modest values in circulated grades, thus, don't expect every 1975 20 centimes to be big money. Premium comes from condition and demand. Also, watch out for cleaning, alteration. Heavily cleaned coins can lose value even in high grade. Misgrading. Someone calling a coin UNC when there are obvious marks or deficits may mislead. Always scrutinize photos or request images. Market liquidity. For modern common coins, even high grades may take time to sell or may not reach very high premiums unless you find the right buyer. Cost versus benefit of certification. Grading fees and shipping may eat into your profit unless the coin's value warrants it. Even for a seemingly modest coin like this, why would someone pay a premium? Here are reasons. They are completing a high-grade set of French modern coins and want the best for each date. They are seeking key date, quality combinations. Often the common date but best condition becomes the key. They value the eye appeal and originality. When these modern coins sit in top condition, they look great in a cabinet or display. They consider the coin's historical context. Mid-1970s France, modern monarchy, the pre-Euro era, the Marianne motifs, all part of a narrative. They anticipate future value appreciation. Coin markets often reward quality over time, albeit slowly and not guaranteed. To wrap up, if you have a 1975 France 20 centimes and you think it might be in extra fine or higher condition, evaluate it honestly, compare with known examples, perhaps have it graded, and monitor market listings and past sales. If you're looking to buy one as a high-grade example, set your budget, knowing that circulated ones are inexpensive but top-grade ones will cost more, and look for those minimal marks, full luster, crisp strike, gorgeous toning, if any. If you'd like me to review other dates in the French 20 centimes series, say 1978, 1980, other mint marks, or compare with other denominations, 10 centimes, 50 centimes, 1 franc, let me know in the comments. Also, if you're exploring the grading process, I can do a video on how to photograph, assess and submit modern coins for grading. Next up, the 20 centimes dated 1963, so stay tuned, because we're going to dive into its history, its specs, what condition means, how grading affects value, and yes, even examples in bad condition that sold for major dollars. Let's get into it. To understand why this coin even has value, we need to go back to France in the 1960s. The coin, the 20 centimes denomination of the French franc system under the Fifth Republic according to catalogues. The 1963 dated version is catalogued as kilometer number 930. Mintage. A very high mintage, about 190,330,000 pieces in 1963 at the Paris Mint. Metal, composition, aluminium bronze, diameter approximately 23.5 millimeters. Design. Obverse shows Marianne, symbol of the French Republic, by the sculptor Henri Lagriffol. Reverse shows the denomination, 20 centimes, and date, flanked by a laurel branch and wheat ear. Because of the high mintage and relatively modern date, one might assume this is a common pocket change coin, and indeed in typical circulated condition it is, but, as we'll see, the story changes when condition and rarity of a specific grade come into play. Now here's where a lot of interest lies when we talk about condition in numismatics. We usually refer to grades such as good, G, very fine, VF, extremely fine, XF, uncirculated, UNC, MS, etc. for this coin. In typical circulated condition, it will show wear, flattening of high points, dullness, surface marks, making value rather modest. Catalogues list very low values for the 1963 20 centimes in standard circulated states. For example, one source states that for the 1963 design the uncirculated value is up to $25,000 in perfect UNC grade, but that's presumably for the very best examples. In more typical condition, values are far lower. One listing shows recently sold examples at around $27,000 in standard worn condition. So you might ask, if the mintage is huge and many coins exist, how can any version of this coin sell for big dollars? The key is rarity of grade, maybe error or special variety, and market demand also. Collectible markets sometimes get excited about high-grade survivors even for high mintage coins. And yes, even coins in bad condition can have value if they're graded and have some attributes that make them stand out. Minimal wear, good strike, unusual toning, or else that they come from a known provenance collection in coins. Condition is everything. A heavily worn coin might fetch only its face or a small premium. But one in a poor condition but showing some desirable feature might surprise. Let's talk more about what to watch out for. When evaluating a coin like the 1963 20 centimes, here are some features to look at, and why they matter. Strike quality. Even though many were minted, striking may have been light in some batches. A sharply struck coin will show crisp details in the hair, cap, and wheat ear. Wear and surface condition. Obvious. Less wear equals higher grade equals higher value. Heavy wear reduces market value significantly. Luster and original finish. For aluminium bronze coins, the original surface may have a certain sheen, corrosion, cleaning, or heavy toning can reduce value. Mint mark, variety. While in this case the 1963 issue is common, certain die varieties, mint marks, or errors can add value. For example, the mint mark if present, or anomalies in the strike. Grading and certification. Coins submitted to a professional grading service, PCGS, NGC, etc., with high grade, MS65, MS66, etc., will command premium prices because they offer assurance to buyers. One listing shows an MS65 example priced at $30,000 for this coin. Provenance and auction visibility. If the coin was part of a well-known collection, or sold at a major auction house, it may carry a premium simply for prestige. Market demand. Even common coins can become star coins if a collector sets a target, or if the coin fills a gap in a specialized set, e.g., a French coin collection of post-WW2 strikes. So yes, even a coin that appears bad can have hidden value if it ticks some of those boxes, but as always, caveat collector. Let's talk numbers, which is always fun. According to one catalog entry, the 1963 20 centimes has a theoretical uncirculated value of up to US $35,000. Some online sale listings show many circulated examples for $42,000. The huge disparity between cheap circulated and high-grade market value, so if you discover one in excellent condition, there is upside. However, I must point out a caveat. I did not confirm a publicly recorded sale at a very big dollar level for bad condition of this exact coin. Some sites list inflated theoretical values for this coin in unknown condition. So if you've seen a claim that a really bad condition 1963 20 centimes sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, you'll need to check specific auction lots, certification, provenance, and grade details. That said, the potential exists. Let's say you found one in grade MS65, virtually uncirculated, or even MS63 with outstanding attributes. You could hope for hundreds of dollars, maybe more, depending on the market at the time. And for our video's hook, if you have one that looks really rough, maybe has heavy wear but still collectible because it's graded and in high demand, that can be the story we're chasing. Imagine you have a faded, well-circulated 1963 20 centimes in your drawer. Maybe you found it in an old box of French coins from a relative. It's scratched, a bit corroded, edges worn, but the date is clear, 1963. It's that exact coin we've been discussing. What should you do? Authenticate and examine. Check for date, mint mark, metal, aluminium, bronze, diameter, 23.5 millimeters. Look for major damage, deep corrosion, holes, heavy cleaning strokes. These reduce value heavily. Find any minor variety or special detail, die doubling, off-center strike, etc. Decide about grading. If you suspect it's better than typical, light wear, good surfaces, you might submit it for third-party grading. But be aware, grading costs money. If the coin is heavily worn and looks bad, the grading cost may exceed the benefit. Market it properly. Use professional photos, show both sides, show wear and surface condition honestly. If it is graded, include the holder image, grading service, grade. Set reserve or ask price based on comparable recent sales. For full wear circulated, maybe $57,000. For high grade, maybe thousands. Understand fees, auction house fees, shipping, insurance. Be realistic and specific about bad condition value. A heavily worn 1963 20 centimes will not magically sell for thousands just because of date. The high value examples are exceptional in grade. Yes, high mintage 190 million plus, but here is why this one stands out. If it doesn't stand out, it will sell at or near common circulated value. Consider holding. If you believe the coin's grade may upgrade, or interest in French coins increases, you might hold until a better market or until you find a specialist collector. So that's the strategy if you have one of these coins, especially in less than perfect condition. The 1963 French 20 centimes is a common coin in terms of mintage, but still interesting to collectors because of its design, era, and place in French numismatics. Condition is everything. Most examples will be inexpensive, but rare high-grade examples, or ones with desirable attributes, can command significant premiums. Don't believe every claim of big money sale, unless you can verify condition, grading, auction house, provenance. If you own one in bad condition, still assess carefully. You might need to temper expectations, but you also might discover it has potential if something about it is special. Always photograph your coin, research comparables, and if serious, talk to a reputable coin dealer or auction house. If you enjoyed this deep dive into a seemingly modest coin with hidden potential, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next numismatic treasure hunt. And here's one more thing. Do you own a 1963 20 centimes, or any interesting French coin, that you think might be valuable? Leave a comment below with the date, condition, as best you can describe, and we'll dig into it together. Who knows? Your coin might surprise you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep hunting those coins, keep checking those drawers, and stay curious. Au revoir.